coming through the front door into the hotel. And check it out. She walked directly through the lobby, got on the elevator, and went straight to her room on the 10th floor.
And look, she's crying. I wonder what she's so upset about. It's her
43, Dad.
What?
This draft card. September 28th, 1943.
Let's see.
Wait a minute. John Scott Grimes. Classified 1C. What's DISC mean? Anyway, that's your draft card, I guess. 1943. 1945 is what it says. This must be after the war. What's what? That's your draft card, right? When did you get drafted?
July the 1st, 1941.
Okay, you got a list of the guys that got drafted with you? Being here, who you got?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that I got from Eisenhower. See where it was folded up and I carried it in my pocket?
Mm-hmm. What's that? Let me see that. Well, this is the copy of the speech and stuff that he gave, right? Now, when did you get this?
Just before we went on the landing barge, going over.
What day would that been?
Well, I'll have to, where's that book at?
Look here in a minute.
I'm trying to get some of these.
Wait. What else you got there?
Wait just a minute.
What's this one?
That's what gun I brought back.
Oh, that Mauser? What's these postcards of?
Well, that's Hotton. That's where I picked that up in the Battle of Bow.
Oh, during the Battle of the Bulge? Oh, these are German, okay. Well, that ain't Germany, is it? It's
Hotton.
Belgian.
Belgium and Hotton,
Yeah.
yeah. That's where we was at the night that the Germans broke through.
Okay, let's see what this one says. Camp Polk, Louisiana. John S. Grimes has been chosen to attend the Armored Force Tank Mechanics course at Fort Knox, Kentucky. He is assigned to Company H, 33rd Armored Regiment, a part of the 3rd Armored Bayou Blitz Division, commanded by Major General Alvin C. Gillum. He is the son of Mrs. Agnes Childers of Oregon. What else you got here? What's this one? Oh, this is that photo of...
Yeah, when...
This ain't the one you took. This is just one you got.
Well, here, the following named men have been selected for induction by this board. They shall report to this local board of Order, Missouri at 6 o'clock a.m. on July 1st, 1941, where they shall be sent to induction station of the United States Army at Fort Leavenworth. John S. Grimes, Oregon; Theodore Gar Forbes; Roy Clifton Peters Corning; Paul Leslie Brunkmeyer, Mountain City; and Judah Christian Dale Bigelow. Did you get that?
Let me get it on here.
Yeah.
John Scott. You and Gus got drafted the same day, huh?
Yeah.
Did you know any of them other guys?
No, I was the only one out of 10 that passed.
Now what's this? This is Uncle Red and Uncle Connie, right?
Mhm.
Or Uncle Dale, right? Now when did Uncle Connie was kind of young to be in the army, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is 1943. What was he in? What did he do?
Connie drove a truck, and his Corporal Dale O'Connell has returned to Camp Robinson after spending 5.
What Uncle Dale do?
He was a cook.
For what outfit, you know?
No, I don't. You have to.
Let's see, what's this one say? Corporal Dale O'Connell. Oh, this must have been stuff Grandma sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't say what unit he's with, does it? Oh, this is on your general getting killed. Rose was a private in 1916. Had 3 silver stars. He was at Kasserine Pass. Huh. What's this one? What's this one here?
Well, that was a hill.
This was you guys?
Yeah.
Which is part of the thing, though.
Well, I'm looking for the rest of it. I don't know.
Where was this hill at?
Right there, about the second day was in battle.
Oh, this would have been in France, right?
Yeah.
Well, this was at St. Lo. And what's this in here? Well, this is on raising a memorial to Rose, huh? Okay.
Samson's the guy that hit me on the face.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. There's the list right there. The platoon list.
Headquarters Company, 3rd Battalion, 33rd Armored Regiment, May 15th, 1945. This is after the war, right? Wilson was a platoon sergeant. Thiem was the second. Okay. First squad, second squad. You were the 3rd squad leader, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How much money did a sergeant make in them days?
I don't know.
Well, this has got Koleski, DeBone, Eddie, Sampson,
Yeah, that's,
Polishin, and Svoboda. How many of them guys are still alive? Any of
I
them?
don't know.
Where was Koleski from?
Kowalski?
Kowalski.
Let's see that. Let's see. Kowalski. I don't know. DeBon's from New York, and Eddie was from up in Michigan. Svoboda was from Detroit, I know that.
So he's dead, though, isn't he? We know that.
Yeah.
What about, you don't know where Eddie was from?
No, not exactly.
Well, these guys who was in your squad during the war, though, the whole time? This is after the war. Those guys?
No, this was before the war, because you still got, let's see here. Thiem was assistant platoon leader, and this is, Thiem was assistant platoon leader before we closed the Felice Gap, and then just a day before we closed the Felice Gap, he got hit, and I took over, and then the next day I was making coffee with the blowtorch, and a piece of hot lead flew off the can and hit me in the eye, and they sent me plumb back out of the division.
How many days were you out for?
I was only in the hospital 2 days, but it took me a month to catch back up with the division. 2 days before we
When was this?
just before we went into Germany.
Well, this was after the Battle of the Bulge.
No, this for the Battle of Bulge. We haven't even got to Cologne yet.
But those are the guys that was in your squad the whole time, right?
Well, let's see. Well, we got reemplacement. Sampson was
Because little Alvin ain't on there that I know of.
no,
But now, let me see this a second. Swoboda we know is dead.
yeah.
Kowalski, where was he from?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Where was DeBone from?
He was from New York. I know that.
Where was Eddie from?
Well, he was Illinois. Seemed to me like he was from Illinois.
Polishin, where was he from?
I don't know.
You know any of these guys' first names or where they were from?
No, not exactly.
If you haven't seen any of these guys since the war.
No.
No, these guys were with you the whole time though, right? Most of them.
No.
Swoboda was though, right?
No. We got Svoboda. I think we got him in England or over in Germany.
But DeBone, I've heard you talk about DeBone.
D-Bond.
D-Bon. Is he the guy that lives out in California?
Now, Wise Gable and Marshall, the theme, they was there all the time. See, they got up here in the first squad, Wise Gable. They got Little Roll and Brungarth. But Peter Brungarth drove the half-track, and Croshaw, what's Croshaw? Croshaw was a radio operator. Now, this is made after, I don't know who.
But now, what's the one that lives out in California you talked about?
Well, that was Ludic.
The one that had the wine deal.
Well, that was Elizondo. He was in the assault platoon, and he originally come from France.
But now, you don't know where any of these guys are from. You lived with them for 3 years. You don't know where any of them are from, Paul.
Well, I did, but damn, Jim, 60 years ago.
50. You don't know where D-Bon was from where now? Well, I'll try to look some of these guys up for you some of these days. Now, what's this?
Now, here's the thing. Well, that's all the men name of the whole company.
Oh, this was from a picture. Okay.
Yeah, from the picture. Now, there's the thing. If you want to.
Okay, let's see if I can get this one. Clarence B. Hedrick and Lawrence B. Hughes, two St. Joe trainees, have been sent to Fort Leavenworth for set. Okay, other names. Let's see. Where's your name at on there? Don't take it out. I got it on here somewhere.
Way down at the
John Grimes, Bernadette Pops. Okay. Well, a lot of these guys were in the 3rd Armored in from around here.
Yeah.
And this is General Rose, right?
Yeah.
Shot to death by Nazi tankman while taking off his pistol at the hand of his German captors. Figures Nazis.
Now this is Dwight Shanks and Gerald Taylor. They met in Warminster Barracks, England.
Wait a minute now, start over again.
Well, I was with the 3rd Armored Division, and Dwight Shanks was with the Medical Corps up in London.
Mm-hmm.
And Gerald Taylor.
Dwight's the one in the middle, right?
Yeah, was in the medics too.
Where was this taken at?
Warminster Barracks, England.
Before, yeah, okay, before, okay. What else you got there?
From the mouth of hell came the 400.
Oh, this is what you're always talking about, them guys in there. This is Thurl Geyer and them guys. Lieutenant W. Randall of White Oaks, Kansas. I don't know him. What else you got?
Well, here's... it was the first time made the longest march in history.
Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about, the 1st Army that was entered Germany. It was the 1st Army that captured the first German city at Aachen. Were you at Aachen?
Yeah. help take Hawken. That's why I tell you that went in that factory and tore off those big felt things and slept on
Slept on, oh, on that comfort thing?
the, yeah.
What's this one? Oh, this is that deal with... Okay, that's General Rose, General Hickey, and Boudinot. Okay, Hickey's the one that ended up being in command after Rose was killed, right? Yeah. There's another one with your name on it. What's this one say? Sgt.John Grimes, son of Agnes Hqtrs of Oregon, has just arrived at Camp Hoke as a member of the 3rd Armored Bayou Blitz. Already seen that one. John writes as follows: Dear friends of Oregon, I am in one of the best camps in the U.S. It's just like being at home, and instead there are more here. The men here are friendly and it's good to you. It's a nice place and not far from town. We have good meals and just a little warmer here than in Missouri. Yeah, hotter than the devil. Okay, Corporal Dale O'Connell. Oh, he was at Camp Robinson, Arkansas. Oh, was this you guys? Yeah. Yank Armor in Cologne Street. Troops and armor of the 3rd Armored Division of the 1st U.S. Army. In a side street in Germantown of Cologne before driving the heart of the city, whose capture was announced yesterday. Those first photos taken in Cologne.
Well, here's the rest of that you had a while ago, that hill, you know, you wanted to know about.
All them guys, I'll have to read that later. What were you doing during this battle?
I was just right over the hill, and that same hill, Colonel Royson got on the tower and was looking around. Just after he got off, they rode it down, and that was the same hill that we went up there in the morning and fired our mortars, and it got daylight. They shot a hole in the side of my half-track and the one tower.
Them nasty Germans, huh?
I don't know what this is. You'll have to...
Oh, this has just got names of guys that were transferred. One of St. Joseph's selectees to Camp Wallace, Texas, to the Coast Artillery Replacement. Must have been somebody you knew on there. George R. Beasley of Forest City. What's that one? Dad's shot record here. Okay, these are V-mails from you. Okay, where's that one that had that postcard? That was the one I thought was good.
Yeah.
And it's got 3rd Armored on it. It says April 26, must be 1945. Dear Mother, just a few lines tonight. Not much news except I'm still alive. In case you have been keeping up with us on the radio, I don't think it will last much longer, and the German people sure are glad it is just about finished. So we'll close for now. Your son, John. So where were you in April? You guys, April, May, the war ended in May.
Yeah, the next day we left to come back. The war was over for us.
Or the 26th?
27th of April.
Was that when the war? No, the war was over in May.
Yeah, but that was over for us. We was already on our way back. We met the Russians at the Alb River.
Did you meet any Russians?
No, because they had the bridge blowed up.
Okay. Now, what else we got here? Now, what was this? This must have been given after the war or something.
No, I don't know when. Well, here's some more. Leave that for last, don't you?
Okay, what do you got?
Well, here, you'll have to read it.
All members of the division, is with a heavy heart that I assume command of this great division, stepping in the shoes of our lost leader and my very warm personal friend, General Maurice Rose. Okay, this must be about when he died and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just got done reading a book by Bradley, and he had good things to say about him. I offer each of you my sincerest congratulations on victory. Okay, this is May 8th, VE Day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doyle Hickey, Brigadier. He was just a Brigadier General.
That's when I went
Okay,
out.
this is your departure from the 3rd Armored. Within a very short time, you will leave our divisions and start on the redeployment program of the Army. I wish that it would be possible for me to see and talk to your men. Okay, where did you go after the 3rd Armored?
I went to the 6th Armored Division on,
Did you know anybody there?
no, over on Rhine, Maine. And we was there for about a week, and then we moved up into the mountains, the Frankfurt and Schokrippen, and I stayed there until I got ready to come home. And then we moved down to Nuremberg on the airfield in tents. Then we loaded on boxcars and come to Le Havre.
No, there wasn't any fighting going on
No,
yet
no,
then. Oh.
no, it's all over.
Okay, headquarters.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that. I got that on here.
Oh.
Now this is talking about headquarters, 3rd Armored Division. All members of command. The following letter received from Division Commander from the Commanding General, 7th Corps is quoted for your information. With the relief of the 7th... Okay, he's talking about relieving the 7th Corps. It must have been... Oh, Lightning Joe Collins, yeah. That's how I got that guy's grave thing. Members of... Okay, this is the same one by Hickey again. And this is the relief of you guys. These must have come in over the teletype. You must have saved them. Okay, Award of the Bronze Star. King, Wayland, Oxford, William, Harrison, Esker. You must be way down the list here, Paul.
Yeah, right here. Right over
Okay,
there.
let me see what it says.
That's all the men that got the Bronze Star in the 33rd Armored Regiment.
Okay, Sergeant John S. Grimes, 37010907, 33rd Armored Regiment for meritorious service in the support of combat operations against the enemy in France, Belgium, and Germany from 9 July 1944 to 1 May 1945. Entered military service. Oh, this is for overall service during the thing. Okay. And this is that other one again. Now, what's these over there? Just copies of that stuff?
I couldn't read it very good. Some of it is pretty well, getting pretty.
Pretty much.
It tells about Mortain in there, different battles.
Yeah.
And
We received our first baptism of any fire at Ariel. Our first big encounter with the enemy took place at Point Herbert, where we lost our command tanks, the colonels also being knocked out. We took the town of Point Herbert the previous evening. H Company. What company were you in?
3rd Battalion, Headquarters Company.
Okay, but we called back the next morning. When we barreled into town, the enemy was waiting and gave us a very heavy reception, losing the above-mentioned tanks. A few days later, we were moving into Hotton, V-E-N-T-E-S, when enemy mortar fire on the road. It was impossible to seek shelter as woods bordered the road on both sides. Captain Talley and Lieutenant Worrell were wounded by shrapnel. At this spot, arriving on the hill north of St. Lo, we were compelled to fight a bitter hedgerow-to-hedgerow fight against the stubborn enemy resistance. It was here on the 11th of July that our famed mortar section, is that you guys?
Yeah.
Had their first chance to show the enemy what damage they can do. The mortars kept up a harassing fire for 30 minutes while the rest of us were sweating out the counter battery fire, which was heavy and plentiful. On the 28th of July, the battalion was strafed and bombed by the enemy from 0200 till 0212. We moved to a new area on the 30th, the trip being 20 miles to Carissy-la-Salle, where we were again bombed. One of the most vicious battles took place at Mortain Hill. Now, I've heard you talk about Mortain, where it was a case of do or die. Our opposition was the fanatical SS troops, which we were to meet often from here on. Sergeant Tripp, a C Company, spearheaded through the hedgerows every morning with CG and H alternating on the offensive. On one occasion, Sergeant Tripp burrowed through the hedgerow with no shots being fired at him. So Lieutenant Ray, now in charge of H Company, took his tank through and was immediately knocked out. Lieutenant Ray, who was admired by all his men, escaped from the vehicle, but was later tried to rescue one of his men, was killed in doing so. On another occasion, Lieutenant Rester of C Company led the attack with his platoon and supporting infantry. Lieutenant Patterson in 301st Field Artillery and Sergeant Meldon. Now, what was Gus in?
54th Field
54,
Artillery.
okay. Okay, this talks about, I don't know who wrote this, but it talks about, oh, this must have been written after the war was over. Yeah. For those of you who are leaving us will probably not give a thought to the old 3rd Battalion, but once in a while think of such personalities as Colonel Hogan, Major Brown, Lieutenant Tiger Mills, Captain Schumacher. I've heard you talk about Schumacher, haven't you?
Yeah, he was our platoon leader for a while.
Captain Burns, Captain Miller, Lieutenant Rorell. I've never heard of him. Lieutenant
Yeah, he was a reconnaissance lieutenant.
We will often think of those friends who gave their lives in the line of duty. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, at Hotton, oh, this talks about Hotton too. Task Force Hogan was on the 9th of April. Task Force Hogan was spearheaded with the Northern as the objective. The lead company was G, and they had halted with H company moving into the lead, taking the right flank to Sudheim. Approaching the town, the leading elements were on the receiving end of tank and flak fire. The lead tanks received a direct hit which wounded or killed all the infantry riding on the deck. Instead of holding, the company raced into town, knocking out 2 Tiger tanks and 2 flak wagons, killing 8 Germans and capturing 60 without losing a vehicle. The company then proceeded into Northeim, securing the objective.
There's something on the back.
Let me look on the back, see what it says. I ought to read these. I ought to photocopy these sometime, Dad.
Well, yeah, they're getting pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay. The task force, now under the leadership of Major Walker, started back to the American lines, but we again ran into a roadblock and stopped cold. That night we camped in a valley expecting a German attack, which never took place. The following morning a patrol was sent to a little town behind us called Markery, where Colonel Hogan was found drinking coffee. Immediately the force was pulled back to this town where roadblocks were set up and all around defensive maintained. While here, this task force accounted for many enemy vehicles being knocked out by artillery, which was miles behind us. At the night we had, it goes on. Okay, 2 days before Christmas, 3 German officers entered our town and asked for our surrender. This must have been during the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah.
Were you with them then?
Yeah.
You was with the unit then. 2 days before Christmas, 3 German officers entered our town and asked for our surrender, which was promptly received with "Go to hell" by Colonel Hogan. Christmas night at 6 p.m. we started to march out on foot as was directed after destroying. Oh no, this was during the Battle of the Bulge. You weren't with them. This is when they marched out of the thing there.
Yeah, I was at Hutton.
Okay. What was Gus doing there?
Well, he was a field artillery. See, they had so much artillery and so much infantry, all tasked to make up a task force, you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And he was the tank driver, and another guy was in there, and the Captain.
Gus was a tank driver?
Yeah.
In the field artillery?
Yeah, and Captain Brown was the officer for the field artillery, and he was a forward observer for the artillery.
How come you weren't with him?
Well, I don't know. They just left us back with the kitchen that night.
Okay, we'll get your pictures and stuff, and we'll go over them. This says you guys started at St. Lo. Okay. When did you guys land in D-Day? In Normandy? You said about 12 days after?
About 12 days after D-Day, when they got enough ground for that big guy.
Okay, now this says the division, originally one of the units that led the break through west of St. Lo and later helped to encircle and destroy a large section of the German 7th Army, began its drive on the night of August 25th when it received orders to bridge the Seine and head for Belgium. When did you first get into combat?
I think it's in July.
Okay. That must have been when they were talking about the Felice Gap. The striking into eastern France.
We come through St. Lo and come around like this, and the British come from Calm down.
The striking into eastern France in a multiple column formations in the face of tank destroyer, and armored opposition, the division crossed the Marne, captured Meuse, M-E-A-U-S, is that Meuse?
Mm-hmm.
Were you there? What'd you do? When was the first time you were in combat? What did you do? What happened?
We was just in a vehicle and drove, and it got dark, and we didn't fire our mortars until we got up to that hill, you know.
That hill, okay.
Yeah.
That would have been at St. Lo, okay.
Yeah, well, before we got to St. Lo.
Okay, the maneuver blocked off German troops retreating into Germany, and just before dawn on September 23rd, elements of several German divisions tried to break through the armored lines. Day and night the battle raged, with service troops, engineers, cooks, military police, and staff officers taking part in the melee that at one time was battling in the area of the division's command posts. Okay, town after town liberated. Without pause, the division pushed off from Namur, liberating town after town as it went. Despite uncertain supply conditions and the crack division engineers bridged the Meuse, the division went through Namur. I never heard you talk about Namur, and headed for Liege. What were you doing then?
Yes.
Rotgen, first German township to fall, was captured that day. The village of Eupen, half German and half Belgian, fell next as the division began filling out the Siegfried line. On September 12th, the column breached the famous West Wall.
Now, just before, 2 days, I've been back in the hospital from Felice Gap the 2 days before we went to Germany. I got back 2 days before we went to Germany. It took me a month to catch up, so I don't know what. Mom.
How was the wedding?
Well,
Okay.
You're mine.
When the 3rd Armored crossed the Rhine. Since dawn, as fast as the armored cavalry can move, we've been dashing towards the heart of Germany with the spearhead of the First Army through the shambles of artillery-mown forests, roads strewn with pathetic debris of broken, defeated armies such as discarded uniforms, gas masks, helmets, and rifles. I have paused to write shortly after noon with the forward elements already 72 miles behind the Rhine and reports of only disintegration ahead. The big town of Harburg fell a few minutes ago. Okay, this must have been a news dispatch written by this guy. Okay. Okay, he talks about liberating. Well, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. 2 Nazi trains halted. This is talking about the thing in general.
Did he tell you about,
Not yet. What?
have you got that thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
Well, I didn't want it to be on. I wanted to talk to you without it, so I could ask you what you've asked him.
Well, go ahead and ask. Talks about slain by troopers with okay. With the First Army, April 3rd, nothing inside or outside Rose's bag. For as far as any one man should be credited for the bag, it should be the commander who made the greatest armor in history zip it shut. Concerns troops massed around it today so much as the news that Rose is dead. Lucky Rose's luck has broken at last. At 6 o'clock last Friday night, Major General Maurice Rose, commander of the famous Spearhead Armored Division, was shot by Scholl troops of the Westphalian SS. At that time, his armored columns were 3 miles or so from Paderborn, on their way to make that spectacular link up with the 2nd Division of the 9th Army to cut off 4,000 miles of the Ruhr and all it entails. Task Force Wellborn and Task Force Doan, converging on one town, had run into stiff opposition from SS troops, from 2 SS divisions from the Nazi school at Paderborn, which is famous refitting and training center for German troops. These boys, young fanatics, 16 to 17 years of age, were equipped with bazookas mounted on tanks on which they learned the theory of armored warfare and were then sent out to practice in their first real battle on a field they knew as well as you know the view from your dining room window. Okay, doesn't talk about that. General Rose got all this over the radio and then, as his usual custom on these occasions, called his Jeep and his aide, Major Robert Bellinger, to see what happened. Following him in a half-track that went several other officers of his staff. They were to see They were to see that what was holding Welborn and then cross from him to see Doan. They found themselves in the middle of the fierce tank fire from 4 or 5 Nazi tanks in a pine clump overlooking the road, and set off across country to find, only to be caught under fire again from a Tiger tank lurking in the next pine clump. A Tiger tank is no subject for anyone, even with the leaning courage of General Rose to argue with. He and his party surrendered and received orders from a young Nazi who stood up in the turret to hose a verbal stream upon him. General Rose, thinking that he was being ordered to give up his arms, reached to slip his pistol shoulder from his holster, whereupon the tank immediately opened fire onto the party, who, with the exception of their general, was shot twice through the head, took to the ditch. Okay. Okay. Tell me about the first time you were in combat, Pop. What were your thoughts?
Scared.
Were you getting shelled, or you getting shot at, or did you get a chance to shoot back?
No, I never did. I never did shoot at any a man with my gun.
Never did shoot anybody with a gun. Always with a mortar.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Here, let's put these here.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. I want to talk about that one. Now, tell me about that hill when you were talking about with the mortars and stuff there.
Yeah.
That's the one there. What was that? What was that all about?
The only thing I can remember, we got orders, and Lieutenant Smalley was still there. And
no, Smalley was the one that you said was a coward.
yeah.
Does he come to the reunions?
No. We were supposed to go up on that hill. We went up on that hill and down over by a farmhouse and set up and fired. And
This is the first time you ever fired at
Yeah.
anybody, right?
then you got daylight where the Germans spotted our vehicles and shot at us. We had to run and get in ditches there. And on the
What were
left-
they shooting at you with?
I don't know, tanks, I guess. 'Cause,
No, it was artillery fire, not mortars or nothing, no.
and they shot a hole in the left side of my half track and shot the left side and shot the left tire off. But they had them bulletproof inner tubes, and you could drive, you know, with the
You could drive with them anyway, huh?
yeah.
Now, what did you see when you first came on Omaha Beach, Dad?
Yeah.
The first thing when we drove out of the boat, why, we seen those big, looked like railroad rails drove in the ground, you know, and we drove up the side of the hill, and I seen some lady P-47 shot down, and I seen a glider, and the next scene I seen a half track, and then I seen another little burro, and the next little boy, and that's the only thing I can remember till we drove over and drove in the field, and we all parked, you know, from the gate all the way around this little field.
Okay, hold on a minute.
See where I
Okay.
carried up in my shirt pocket, folded up. I always carried that in my billfold right here.
What was it? That one.
Well, I've already got that. That's that one where he was talking about Eisenhower. That's the original. Okay, hold on a minute now. Don't give me this because I want to go over some stuff. Now, this talks about, I don't know who wrote this, but this has got something to do with
With what?
the fight, something to do with the first fight they were in. I don't know who wrote that.
Well, now he's had.
This is talking about the hill at Mortain. Now, was this the first real?
No, that was after.
After what, Dad?
St. Lo was the first. St. Vieth, then St. Lo. We made a big circle around like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then we Felice Gap and the bridge come from here. And
Okay.
from there over to the German, I missed out in there for about a month, you know.
Because of the thing in your eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is original, Jimmy, and we don't know.
We don't know what it is, do we?
No, because, but he's had that ever since I've been married to him, before I was
Well, it
married.
came in over a teletype. This talks about Task Force Hogan and getting shredded. Now, tell me about, you were talking about getting when we were talking about getting a Bronze Star in the artillery. When was that? When you were talking about standing up in the half track. When was that? Yesterday.
What do you mean stand up and have
Well, when, what's his name, Cordell got wounded.
Well, that
Start from the start.
Where were you?
Well, we was at Mortain. We moved in Mortain there and pulled off the road there, and there's a lot of trees. And Sergeant Thiem was coming up there. We pulled off and they rumped their radiator and they wasn't with us. They had to drop out. Well, it just me and Sergeant Cordell.
2 half-tracks.
2 half-tracks.
2 mortars.
Yeah. And we had a platoon of infantry with mortars attached to us. They was set up in here.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of sending our half-track up there on the line, well, Sergeant Gregan went up, and Lieutenant O'Sullivan went in a tank, you know, forward observer. He had his portable radio, and I guess he got out, I don't know, but he was calling back, telling us what to do, you know.
Sergeant Thiem.
No, Sergeant Gregan.
Okay.
He'd give us how many yards to fire, and he said we had a command, traverse right, search, or something like that. And that's where you drop 3 here, and 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 3 here.
Mm-hmm.
And well, then the German artillery fired these concussion shells in, or artillery, and they was hitting the trees, and the shrapnel was coming down and killing the infantry guys right there in the foxhole.
How far in front of you were these guys?
Well, they was about 30 feet from me.
Well, how'd you keep, where were you at, under the hat?
Well, I drove under Wilson's half track. Well, as we come in the gate, I was right here on half track. We didn't, you know, we had 3 or 4 half tracks in a place no bigger than this yard here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the infantry was set up out here somewhere. Well, I know there was a row of trees here and a row of trees here at the bank. Well, they had their foxholes right here and here. Well, when them shells come in, it just come right down and killed them right in the foxhole.
Mm.
And I don't know where Sergeant Cordell was, but he got hit in here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You mean in the side?
Yeah. And when they come in, I drove under Wilson's half track. I don't know how I got under there. It's 4-wheel drive, you know. I guess it's up high.
You can get under there when it's sound like.
Right in them, there was 6 cylinders, and the spark plug stood up like that, and the armor plate, it went through the hood of the armor plate. It must have been a quarter, and it went through right there, and it come through and hit on top of the cylinder head. That's how close it got to me.
Mm-hmm. So then what happened?
Well,
Now who, Cordell was platoon sergeant?
yeah.
Okay,
He lives down in Sherman, Texas.
okay.
I called him here the other day after about, what, 40, 50 years?
Almost 45.
Yeah.
Does he go to the reunions?
No. And then they's all hauling medics, and they didn't have enough medics, so I helped put Sergeant Cordell in the ambulance. That's the last time I ever saw him. And then later on, we got word that Sergeant Gregan got hit, and anyway, Lieutenant Sullivan took over up there and radioed back, you know, for what went as far as smoke shells.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know that Sergeant Gregan got hit by his own shells till
Now, is he
up here.
alive?
Huh? I don't know. He lives in Vermont.
Wonder whereabouts.
Well,
He did. We don't know where he is.
I don't know. And they told me up there, or Major Brown told me that he pulled his smoke shells in too close to him and got hit by his own shrapnel.
Okay, now what happened? You said something about you took over or something?
Well, yeah, I was only platoon sergeant left because Sergeant Thiem wasn't there, and Sergeant Cordell was wounded, and Sergeant Gregg was wounded. I was only sergeant left out of the whole 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then what happened? What'd you do?
Well, then after we pulled out of Mortain, we moved on.
Okay, well, yeah, but these guys were all hit.
How did you get the Bronze Star? That's what we want.
Well, hold on.
Well, they allowed so many Bronze Stars, I guess, to the regiment. And
Dad I read the citation in there, the thing, and it talks about
the company
meritorious service.
commander
That's right.
or platoon, somebody had to turn it in, you know. We wrote up a thing, tried to get a citation, but we never.
Or you mean a unit citation?
Yeah, but we never did that.
Okay, this was Zaludik. Zaludik's dead. He was a guy who lived in California.
Yeah, Zaludik.
He's been dead for years.
Zaludik was my number he was my number 2 gunner. He
And-
made sergeant, and Weisgable was my number 1 gunner,
Have you ever
and he
seen
made sergeant.
these guys still alive, or do you know?
I don't know. Zaludic's dead.
What about Svoboda?
No, he's dead too. His wife wrote me a letter, you know.
Weisgable, where was he from?
He was from Coal Camp, Pennsylvania, because you could see the coal in his hand. And he had his finger cut off here, but boy, he could
Didn't make
But-
a difference, huh?
sure turn that crank on that.
Kama, Tucson, LaRouche, Melanson,
He was a Russian, I think that guy had.
Koloski, you don't know him or who he was from. Devon, you don't know where he was
Well,
from.
he was from New York, I know he's from.
Yeah, New York's a big state. Eddie, you don't know where he was from.
Well, he was from Michigan, or he was real old.
Oh, he,
In the wintertime, he just about froze to death. He's so old. And Samson, he's the one that hit me
the old man
with
hit
the
the old-
ring because I get
Now,
older.
none of these guys ever go to the reunion, though.
Well, let's
If
see.
they do, they've never been there when Dad's been there. Let's put it that
Okay.
way.
Now, this would be the year to go, because this is the 50th. Okay.
Well, we'll go.
Well, I want to go with you, because I want to take some of this video. Okay, now that was
Peter Brungarth and Croshaw was up here in Minnesota, and Brungarth was out here in Kansas.
They're both, one of them's dead, I
And
know.
Harry Tempt used to live up here in
Well, this is from some old
Michigan
gal.
and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from his girlfriend there. Have you ever seen that?
And
Yeah.
Tucson was that Indian. He was from out.
Now, the guy that lives in Minnesota, is he dead?
He wasn't the last time we heard
Where's
about
he
him.
from?
St. Cloud.
Oh, really?
One of them was.
Who?
The guy from St. Cloud.
Yeah, he's a cook.
What's his name?
Stephen.
Stephens was his
Stephen.
name.
How many guys did any guys from your platoon or company get killed?
Yeah. I'll tell you how many got killed right here. Shellac died.
Oh,
Tucker.
no, that isn't what he asked.
Wolf got killed. Reavers got killed. Castor got killed.
From your platoon?
It's from his company.
Darverson got killed. Visconti got killed. And Davison got killed. And Beaver got killed.
Do you know any of them guys?
Yeah, the reason, and Sergeant Randall and Sergeant Tucker was in a light tank, and they was, I wasn't with them, and they was going through France at night, and they'd stop. Tucker went to sleep, and when he woke up, they moved on, and when they got down to this road, they took the wrong road, and when they got up there, the Germans shot Tucker's crew. Well, Tucker got turned around, and Sergeant Castor and Randall got killed. Castor and let's see, Visconti and Darverson. He got killed just before we went to St. Loeb. He was a tank driver for Colonel Hogan.
But these,
Sergeant
How did he
Guidry,
get killed?
well, a German tank hit it and set it on fire.
Hmm.
And Sergeant Guidry went out the bottom, crawled up the ditch, and I guess Darverson,
couldn't get out.
well, Darverson crawled out to somewhere else. And Davison was a motorcycle guy. He got killed before we took that hill. And Beavers got out of the tank to go to the bathroom, got shot.
Sniper?
And Wolf got killed. He was a tank commander at the Battle of Bulls. And Reavers got killed. He was a tank commander
Jimmy,
just before the war was over.
sit down some questions and then ask.
Okay. Okay. After Mortain was there at St. Lo.
No, that was after
St. Louis just after the Sherwood
We
Convention.
need to get the book out to tell.
St. Lo, and then Mortain, and well,
Okay, what happened after? What was the worst combat you were in?
Mortain and the Battle of Bulls.
Okay, now after Mortain, you guys, that was at the Police Gap, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to go back and look.
I'd
Okay.
have to look at the
Now, what happened that? Take me on after then. Go ahead and tell us what you did and where you went. And all.
Where?
Just after Mortain, what happened?
I can't remember. I'd have to look at the book.
Okay.
Tell him where you got the city chiggers at that time,
The
Paul.
City
I
Chiggers.
don't know where. Well, that was in Belgium.
City Chiggers was that?
Don't you know?
Lice?
Yes, they were sleeping around in old barns and everything, and then that's how he come to get them.
Now,
Yeah, the Battle of Bulge.
take me to the start of the Battle of the Bulge. What happened?
Well, we was at Stolberg, Germany. We'd been there since September.
Now, had you been fighting all this way or just
No.
moving a little bit?
We went into Germany around
Wait,
the
wait, wait,
12th
wait.
to 13th of September.
Mortain was where?
Wait a minute.
In France.
In France.
Yeah,
Okay, from France you went up through Belgium.
yeah. And we got into Germany. We stayed there September, October, November, up to the Battle of Bulge. Because when we went into Germany, we were supposed to have 17 medium tanks to each company.
Now, what's a medium tank? That's a Sherman, right?
Yeah, and we only had 17 medium tanks for 2 companies.
What was a heavy tank?
They didn't have it.
We didn't have any.
Heavy tanks.
No.
Okay, now take me to the start of the Battle of the Bulge. Tell me what
Well,
happened.
and then the Battle of Bulge broke out, and they pulled us back from Stolberg, and we drove all night through hills and hollers, and the buzz bombs was flying over, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to drive because I don't know. It seemed to me like Wise Gale was really hurt his ankle, and I had to drive, and I drove the half track down to Hotton. When we got down to Hotton, it was foggy. At 11 o'clock, you couldn't see your hand in front of you.
At
Night or day?
Day.
Okay.
And so they left us back with the kitchen, the kitchen and the cooks and the trucks, and well, see, we was headquarters 3rd Battalion. We had to haul supplies to the GH&I company,
Mm-hmm.
gasoline and the groceries, and they left us back there. Well, then the next morning, about daylight, hell broke loose. Here come about 300 Germans and 6 tanks.
Where were you at when this was going on?
Well, I was in bed. We was sleeping in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a road right out in front of the house, and we pulled off in the yard, and there was a creek run down through there, and it had about a 3-foot wall.
Mm-hmm.
And the first tank come down through there. Why, the MP grabbed the bazooka off a half track, knocked it out, and
You watching this all the time?
no, I didn't. And here come the cooks running down the street because the tank come up, stuck the gun barrel in the window or something. John Dozier and Crouch and Steffens and
Okay, go on.
so then in between the 2 houses there's a rock fence, and Smalley stood up on there, and we was firing the mortars trying to knock out them tanks,
You can't knock a tank out with a mortar, can you?
Anyway, we throwed so much smoke out there that they had to get behind houses, and anyway, I think they used ACAC guns on them infantry. Well, we got the tanks knocked out. Well, then we had to pull guard all night, and right outside the back door there was a field, and we borrowed a 60mm mortar, and every 30 minutes or an hour we'd shoot up a flare, see if we seen any
Mhm.
German infantry guys. And then,
How long that last?
I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and then after Colonel Hogan come out, from the mouth of hell came to 400, I went up with Lockhart in the truck to help haul them back,
Okay, now this was the entire Battle of the Bulge, that's what you did?
No.
No.
Tell me about the spaghetti.
Well,
Where were you on Christmas Day?
we was there in Hutton, and that's where we had John Dozier was a cook, and he was down at guard with us, and he cooked up spaghetti.
What'd you have to go with the spaghetti?
I don't know, Ma. I can't remember now.
Okay, now that was the entire Battle of the Bulge. That's the only fighting you did there at Hutton?
No.
No, it went on
Go on,
for
tell me.
days.
And then,
How long did you stay in Hutton?
I don't know that, no. 3 or 4 days, maybe.
And you moved out and
Yeah.
started backwards or forwards?
No, we're still in the Battle of the Bulge there. You have to get the book out. I can't.
Okay, now after the Battle of the Bulge, where'd you go?
Well, after the Battle of the Bulge, we moved back to Belgium. And then after we stayed there a while, and then from there we went back to up Stolberg, Germany. And we had to get all new, the battalion had to get all new equipment. Had to get 3 new 105s and
Let's back up a minute. I want to ask you something. When you talked about this going up to pick up, this Colonel Hogan and his men had got surrounded, right? And they had to blacken their faces and destroy their equipment and sneak out between the German lines.
Yeah.
All right. And where'd they go to? Do you know where you drove the truck up to meet them at?
See, Hqtrs, I think.
You can't remember.
They got cut off at Marguerite, I think.
Okay, now tell me about the battle at Paderborn, wherever you talk about.
Well, best I can remember, we was spearheading, and all at once they said, make a circle, and the tanks all circled, and the half-tracks and jeeps all got in the middle. And then the next thing I know, they said General Roses got killed. That's where they had all them fanatic SS,
Yeah.
young troopers and women, and they had to use flamethrowers to get them out of the basement. They was,
Now you were in a fight there, right?
yeah.
Anything unusual happen in that one?
Well, see, I was in a mortar platoon. You always the tail end of the column. You got all your tanks and everything's up in front, and the small stuff's on the line. See, we're always way back. Even out when we were spearheading, I was the last vehicle in the line.
Now, I remember going to Lincoln, Nebraska, and talking with this fellow. What was his name?
John Berryman.
John Berryman, and John Berryman was your driver.
Yeah.
And he said that they went somewhere and the road was dark or something he couldn't see, and John stood up in the half track and would hit him on one shoulder or the other one in order to tell him how to guide
Where
the
was
tank.
this at?
Well, that was when we was down around before we went to Felice Gap. Because you know how you're in a column on the first day, you just got to be moving. Along the tail end, man, you really have to. You're moving
really
fast,
go to keep up.
and you're trying to follow those blackout lights. It's hard to do. And I stood right behind him because I could see the road and he couldn't. And I stepped back there, and boy, one time I hit him on the head. I thought he was going over the bank, but he didn't. Damn near going over the
Now
bank.
you were in the tail end of and you guys basically fired mortars to support the infantry,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
No, the infantry and our own tanks if they wanted smoke.
Okay.
And sometimes they would attach us to the Ghtri company, if they wanted smoke.
Now, Paderborn was a pretty tough fight. What happened after that?
Well, we just kept right on the spearheading then.
Where'd you end up the war at?
Yes.
What was the last battle you fought in combat?
Paderborn.
Paderborn. And then you ended up at Odessa.
Odessa, D-E.
Odessa.
D-U-S.
Okay, then what happened?
Well, that's 27th of April, and we met the Russians, and they's on one side of the river, and we's on the other, and the bridge is out, and we
Now you said you crossed at Remagen? You crossed the Rhine at Remagen?
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
the original bridge, on the original bridge or the
On the
pontoon?
original.
The bridge had fell in.
Yeah.
On the pontoon bridge.
And we went across the pontoon bridge and went up Savy Hill at Hanover, Germany, and topped the hills where I got the picture of that dead German, just his head.
Oh.
How come you only got one picture of one dead German?
Well, I was going to take a picture of it, and boy, and old Chuck had a picture. Said, "I'll give you a picture," and he took a picture of it.
Hmm.
Chuck Swoboda.
They had the gates for snow fences, and these Germans done that gate, and they fired at the tank bazooka, and the old tank turned around and let him have the 75. Shot his head off.
And what we get his picture of the body, or we got a picture of the head?
Picture of the head. I got a picture of his head, and picture of dead Germans froze, and I got a picture of German hanging over a girl, you know, burnt to death.
I haven't seen that one, and I haven't seen the one of Eisenhower. I'm gonna shut this thing off.
No, I want to ask a question before you do that. Remember the picture that we have of you standing up on a rock wall with a 45 on your arm?
That was after the Battle of Bows, before we start spearheaded in
Toward Germany.
Yeah, in March.
That was where it was taken.
Yeah, because I know we were spearheading, and the tulips was in bloom.
Yeah, it was taken in Belgium then.
No.
Taken in Germany.
Germany.
In Germany.
We come back to Stolberg.
Oh,
We went
okay.
through Stolberg and up over the hill, and the coal mines was on fire, and then we went. Next thing I know, we was in the airfield of Cologne.
Now, where did you get the camera that you got and the film? Where was that? Did you have the camera already?
I don't know.
You must have had a camera before you went overseas. 'Cause
Oh,
they
yes,
got all
he
the-
Well, I had a
Yeah.
little brown Camry,
Little brownie.
but I got this ice icon somewhere. I don't know, in a house. German field pack there, opened it up.
Where'd you get the silverware at?
Yeah, now wait a minute.
Well, I
Now,
got the silverware in Stolberg.
okay, now I'm gonna shut this
North
off. Now, tell me about, you had that thing welded on the front of the half track that you got all the stuff in? The box, the metal box that kept all the loot in, liberated?
No, that was where they kept the food.
We drilled the holes in the thing, and I put tin underneath of it and tin on top, and that's where I kept my.
In the holes drilled holes in what?
Well, see that we had a winch on the front of the half track, and one the bumper was out here, then the frame come back here, and around here you had a place about square like this, and I had it in there.
Oh, yeah, so you welded a thing, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut this off. I want to go get them photographs. I'm gonna get your little junk box. Let's get out all the loot, the camera, the gun, and all that stuff, and show that. Hold on now.
I suppose you want the silverware too, huh?
Yeah, we'll get pictures of the. What's that?
Soldiers' individual pay record.
That's your pay record. Let me see that second.
And there's how much money I saved up.
We had $2,100 saved when you came back.
No, I don't have
2,000 is what this says. What'd you make? What'd you get paid? You didn't get paid
about
much.
$90 a month, I think.
As a sergeant. Now what's?
Let's see.
These are books they must have gave out. Sequel to Call Me Spearhead. This was made before Rose was killed, wasn't it? Yeah.
I had $2,000 life insurance, $1.36 a month insurance, and they had an allotment, Class C for $25. Then I had a compulsory allotment F, $22.
Okay.
And this here is my Hqtrs, GO907.
GO907, what's that?
Well, see, you only put the four. Mine was 37010907. You only put
Serial
the,
number, okay.
Yeah. And this here was where the shrapnel went through my field bag and hit my handkerchief at Stolberg, Germany.
So where were you at when it happened? Under the half
I was
track?
in the house.
In the house.
And this here stuff,
Oh, let me see that.
well, that's made out of
These are made out of iron. That's made out of shell. A couple of German weenie dogs, Dachshunds.
that's made out of a shell.
Yeah. What else you got in there?
Oh, I got a,
Compass. What kind of compass is
I
it?
got a compass. And
Where'd you get the compass at?
Hard telling.
What'd they give you a compass for?
I told him we should have went down.
what's that there? Is that that's
It's a German medal or something.
1939, a German medal.
Some Nazi German medal made out of cheap brass. Where'd you get this at?
Oh, I picked it up over there.
Picked it up off somebody or just laying around?
Just laying and going through the dresser drawers in
Now,
the
this
house.
is Luftwaffe here.
Yeah. And these here is what they had in a restaurant, sitting on the tables
What?
in the Stolberg.
Those?
No.
Yeah.
Where'd you get these at?
I picked them up in the restaurant.
Which ones? Which ones are you talking
I'm
about?
talking like got his hand.
Oh, these must have been like
Coasters on them.
coasters.
And I got this in 1944 on October 21st. in Stolberg, and it's got a little bitty.
Did you pay for that or
No,
He didn't pay for none of that
No,
stuff.
that's silver, isn't it?
No, it's not. It'd be tarnished like
and
that.
this here is the
Pewter.
1944, Iron Cross.
Yeah. You didn't get none of these off none of them dead guys, though,
No.
huh?
But these here was on Keynes, and I took them off of Keynes and Hutton.
Hmm.
See, there's the bridge there.
Off of walking canes.
Yeah. And these here is
Quit saying these here. These.
for cameras where you set it up yourself. It's got a timer.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old 3rd Armored Division tag.
What was this?
Well, when I come back, I got promoted, was in the artillery.
Well, you were with the artillery then. You were
Yeah.
Buck Sergeant, huh?
Yeah. And here's my little
Prayer book.
German dictionary.
Yeah. German dictionary.
Yeah.
Oh, he used that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. So we came in Fräulein, smack.
And here's my,
No, they didn't.
there's the Bronze Star.
That's the original.
Now they called you out front. Now this is the one you can wear on your lapel. You already got that one there.
Yeah.
You can wear that on your lapel.
Yeah. Here's a little bird. Now I got this off of it. When they took them prisoners back to the hospital, they took their uniforms off of them and threw them out in the pile, and I cut that off. That's a colonel, I think.
Some German bread off some high muckety muck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a bracelet. John S. Grimes, 37010907, Orton, Missouri. My sister Pearl gave me that before I went overseas and just about shot.
She didn't give me to it. She gave it.
Yeah, no. It's an ink pen of some kind. Grease pen.
And there's a pencil I picked up over there. The bracelet.
He gave me a little book and like this, and it's a little day book type thing, and I used to write recipes.
Here-
Look at that silverware.
Here's my tie pin, had a diamond in it. We took it out and put it in Mom's earrings or something. And this is all
German money and junk. What's the watch?
that watch is Uncle Asher's watch. I've had that since 1954.
What's the brass ring here?
That's my wedding ring.
The original wedding ring?
No, honey, you know better than that.
What's that ring there?
Oh, that's my 3rd Armored Division ring.
Oh yeah, let me see that. Where'd you get that at? Want that at the end of the war?
No, I got that before the war.
Jimmy?
You didn't get it before the war because it got Belgium, Germany, and France on it.
Well,
Now, did that stuff come in that case originally?
No, Grandma Childers gave me that case.
this is all German.
This is the original silverware here.
Now, that's from silver, right? It's just pretty plain, though.
Well,
These-
it's
these
just the
is,
kind I wanted.
These are
but,
pennies, English pennies here.
Let me see one of the knives.
He said that it was, there were 12 pieces in a service for 12, and he only picked out 6 of each thing.
Hankel's, did you get it at a store or did you get this at a house, Pop?
I got it out of the house.
It was in a suitcase where somebody else
These
looted
is,
it and went off and left it.
These are German
Let me see one of
florins
these.
here.
These are really, oh, these are gold.
No,
Yes, they're gold plated.
no, these are German.
We never knew for sure what they were for. We think they're fruit.
These are butter
See?
knives.
They're not. They don't match the other set at all, and they didn't match anything else in the thing. There were 12 of
Let me
these,
see
but
the
he
little
only
tongs.
picked out 6 of them. And he picked out this goes with that set,
Damn.
and it was we think it's fruit
You ever had
cheese.
this appraised?
No, I never had it appraised. I never took it anywhere where anyone knew anything about
I
it.
bet you Jerry Runyon can tell you what that is. And you know,
Well, I'm
these-
not going to trust you with it to take
No,
it down
no,
there.
no, no, no.
Sometime when Jerry's
I'll-
up here and you're over here, I'll show it to him.
Yeah. It's probably not fancy, it's just that it's old now. It's probably worth some money though.
And
What's
this-
that little thing?
This was my fork when I was a baby.
What's it say on ABCs? Hazel's fork, I got A.
And this is the one that you kids had. And
Maybe-
Pauline gave that to
You got German money. Okay, that's what the
Johnny,
German
Yeah,
money.
3 marks. I got German money.
They all got German swastikas and stuff on.
Do you want a picture of this or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, just hold it. I held it up where we could see
Yeah,
it.
they
That's
got
all.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put it away. But he sent home tablecloths.
Yeah, what's this here? That's what I was thinking?
Jimmy, there were
Yeah.
tablecloths. There were perfume for his sisters when he went through France. And I have another tablecloth in here that is a painted tablecloth that Grandma gave me.
I don't know.
the
This
other day.
says 1947 on it. How in the world would you?
Probably got dropped in there from some other place.
The ones with Nazi on them. And these are silver coins.
Nazi didn't have any silver coins.
Yeah, some of them are. What do we got there? Just Nazi. Some of these British.
What's this here?
That's a franc. A French
Here-
franc.
Here's a, you don't see many of these, that's a,
This is a Canadian quarter with.
hey, what's that there?
Oh, it's a English. Now this has got a SWAT sticker on it.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know whose pictures on any of these things here.
Here's a half a penny,
A halfpenny.
see there?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's put this junk out. We don't care about none of these coins and junk. Now, what's this one? This is another Nazi emblem you got there.
Yeah. Here's another one right here.
What's that little one there?
That's a Nazi thing.
Now, you got a Hitler Youth knife somewhere. Where'd you get all that stuff?
Oh, they're upstairs.
No, I just want to see it. I just want to know where you got it at.
And
This
I
is
got,
a shaving mirror.
I don't know, I got 6 little things, got animals, a deer and different,
Yeah, we're seeing them.
and they say they're, I thought they cake decoration, but somebody said they were
Something for.
Well, they're putting that decoration for the Lord's in there.
Oh, this pheasant. That's brass, bronze, something. I'll put that in there. Now, what else? These are just medals from. Oh, this is the ones I sent off for that time for him.
That's right. That's the one
This is the one that's got. That's the Bronze Star. This is the one they engraved with his name on it. Yeah, it's got his name on the back.
But the one he's got there was the first original one that
Originally,
he
they gave him
got.
to him in the field. There's a ruptured duck and shooting badges, and boy.
But the one he's putting back in the little metal box is the original one that he was awarded.
What's this? Oh, those are just ribbons and stuff. And now these are.
These are the ones you sent for.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
What's this say at the bottom here?
I got 9 ribbons.
That's his photostat of his discharge.
Gold
there.
stab your discharge, right. It says you fought in 5 Bronze Stars for above named campaigns. Normandy, Northern France, Rhineland, Ardennes, and Central Europe. Qualified with a rifle, marksman, submachine gun. Wasn't much good for submachine gun over there. Okay. Let's put these up now.
These little books they give us,
Yeah. Where'd you get the field glasses at? Tell me about the
I
field
picked
glasses.
them up somewhere, don't ask me.
Put this stuff over there.
How about the camera?
Yeah, where'd you get the camera at?
I got it in a German field pack in the house.
Can't remember how that works.
You have to push down on that right there.
Well, what, this?
500 per second count. It's 400 per second. You don't have to wind it up.
Doesn't work anymore, does it?
Yes, it does. Let me show you.
Got that off the...
See here, you just take it.
Well, he don't have no gory tails.
So you just pull it up like that, and
Oh, okay.
and you set this on.
Yeah, but in,
See there, and you set it on 400 per second. You push it up here. Watch it.
How'd you figure out how to work that? That's what I want to
And
know.
then I got a thing that you.
Now, did you use these in the war, Dad?
No. And you screw in here, and you take your own pictures.
Did you have stuff that you used during the war?
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a picture
I
of
had
him in
field
his
glasses,
uniform
and I had a
it was taken
watch.
with that camera, so he did use it during the war.
See
Yes,
that
he
there?
did.
4 or 5 lens. That's the biggest
You
one.
want to see it?
Yeah. Now, I got another question here.
All right.
You ever did find that photo? Okay. Hold on a second here. We're going to go over these photos, and you can tell me what each one is.
Wait a minute. You asked me about here.
We didn't live there before the war.
Okay, now that's
Oh,
a
you
picture of you.
No, we didn't. That's taken after the war.
That's a picture of you, Connie, after the war, right?
No,
Okay.
that's Dale, that's Uncle Raymond, and that's your dad, and it was taken before the war.
No, it wasn't.
I don't give a damn. I know it was. It was
Grandma's house there. She didn't
I'm
even
recording
live
this,
there.
so you're getting all this argument
It
on
was
here.
not at Grandma's house. It was taken at Irene's. And it was taken out on Angelique Street, and I took you right out there and show you the house.
Now, Dad, what's this one here? Who's this?
That's me and Gerald Taylor.
When was that taken?
That's taken over in England in 43 or 44.
Okay. Slide these on there. When was it? Who's this? This is you as a kid, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's you there, and who's that next to you?
Let's see.
Now, don't pull it out of the road.
That's Junior Golden, Pearl, and me. Taken up at Grandma Shanks'.
Okay. Now, who's this?
That's Sergeant Thiem and Sergeant Cordell taken in Wales.
Okay, slide another one under there. Okay, put it under here and tell me who it is.
That's me. I don't know where it's taken at.
Looks like it was taken back here. You got on a Sam Brown belt of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one there?
That in there is,
Put it under here and tell me who
well,
it
let
is.
me look at it. A Pearl and Jessie Scroggin and my girlfriend when they come out to ride in the tanks at Harrisburg.
How did they get out there?
They come out there in a car.
Oh, okay, what's the next one?
Then his next one is that Sergeant Moses in the middle. He was a maintenance sergeant, and Sergeant Tabor was a mechanic, and I was a mechanic, and we went to a carnival down at Leesville, Pennsylvania.
Leesville, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Okay, what's that same thing? Shove it under there. Let me see it.
That's Sergeant Balcom, Sergeant Tabor, and Sergeant.
Taking the same place?
Yeah.
Okay, shove that one on. Who's
That was
that?
me and my sister taking.
Just before he went overseas.
No, it wasn't, because that was taken on furlough, because it's over there where Mom lived, the old house.
Yeah, he's wearing a whistle.
And that's me and Uncle Brand. What's his boy's name?
Graham Shanks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's the next
And I
one?
was taken down Camp Polk, and there's some cooks on there.
Nobody we know. Okay, what's...
That's a picture where the artillery cleaned it all.
Where at?
Over in Germany somewhere.
Okay.
This here is Dale and Connie and me before the war.
Okay.
And this is taken over in England when he's on a tour down in Salisbury.
Some old castle or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We got our overcoat on and keep
Yeah,
from freezing.
and that's me and Thurl over in Camp Pickett.
Now, Thero, you mean Gus, right?
Yeah, Gus.
We'll put the last name on it, Geyer.
Okay.
And this down at Camp Polk, Louisiana.
Are you in there somewhere that I can see,
I
or what?
don't know. I probably won't take it. Now, this is after the war, I think, Mom's house.
Yeah, you've aged considerably, I can tell in that
And
one.
that was taken, I don't know where.
Yes, they're taking it.
That was taken somewhere, I don't know where.
Okay.
And this is taken at War Minister England of a little girl in, let's see, English girl, Christopher, and her name was Jennifer.
Did you know her mom and dad or something? Or you knew her mom?
He was a home guard in there in War Minister Barracks.
Now, did you live in a barracks or a tent or what?
We lived in barracks. They was equal to Fort Knox. Now wait a minute. Now that's Sergeant Moses
Any of these guys
And-
alive?
and Meyer and Sergeant Tabor and that other guy Neil. He's a real old guy. I can't remember his name.
Okay.
That's a picture of me.
Where was it taken? Must have been...
Camp Hope.
Okay.
And this is a picture down in Louisiana. I was a mechanic then, and I was putting a track back on the tank.
Must have got stuck or something.
Yeah. That's before I went in the Army. I used to drive a truck for Ollie Brungard.
Was that Ollie Brungarden?
Yeah.
The old man wearing a bib overalls.
That's me.
Where was that taken? Must have been outside of barracks in Louisiana.
That's me and Gus at Camp Pickett, Virginia.
Camp Pickett, Virginia. Well, you must have got around a lot of different camps.
Yeah, I did.
Show him that one.
Well, he's got one right here.
Oh, this is a better one. It's bigger.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who is that?
Dwight Shank.
Where'd you get a picture of Dwight at?
Over in England.
Oh.
No, I don't. Now this is, wait a minute. This is me and
Well, let me see it. Put it under here.
that Russian guy and old Chuck Sabota when we had the mortar out of the tank firing it. That's where we slept in the cow barn.
Now, who's the guy looking at? Who's the guy on the guy with his elbow out? That's Chuck Sabota, right?
Where?
The guy with the
Way
stock.
over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's old Chuck.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
what's
that-
this one?
That's Stonehenge, right up from the Warminster Barracks on the Downs.
So you got Dad's a world traveler. He's been to Stonehenge, huh? Okay.
That's Fort Knox, Kentucky, 'cause I remember all that coal.
How'd you get around all these places?
Well, you know me, I got around.
Had a car, huh?
No. That was down at Camp Pope.
I like them coveralls. Those are neat.
And that's me at Mossback, Germany, right close to Stolberg after the Battle of Bulge.
This is
Resting
the
up
one.
to go to Cologne.
This is the one where we've lost the photo. We don't know where it's at, right?
We got a big
What you
one.
call this one, John?
Long John inspection.
That ain't what you told me it was.
Oh,
Oh, he got a 45 in his hand there.
yeah, I got a 45 and got a knife. See that knife on there?
He ain't got. There's a rifle or something. What is it? A carbine or a rifle?
Carbine, and I got I think there's a compass on there and a,
Boy, this is looks like he's a taxi cab driver. This must have been an early photo. Guy or where, Dad?
in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Okay. Now this is a picture of Hazel.
When I met your dad.
Okay. When was this picture here taken?
Which one?
This one I'm looking at here.
That was taken right after for my birthday. The year that I met Dad, 50 years ago.
I can't even find
When was
myself
that?
on here.
I don't know when.
There's Grandma Hqtrs. How old was she in that? 68? No, that's
Yeah,
old.
Yeah, that's an old one.
God, there's one of me. Get that out of there, Bill. There's another one of Hazel. Boy, now
That's our family wedding picture that your dad did not want to have taken.
that looks like Jesse.
That don't no more look like Jesse than nothing.
Where am I at in this picture, Mo, you know?
I had
There's me,
Brother Bill,
Bill, and Brother Johnny.
and the photographer made a smart remark, and Johnny thought, well, you
Take
down
that
Clyde, and that's where
There's
you look.
Bill doing a picture imitation of a chipmunk.
All right. You passed over your grandmother.
There's Jim. Another good picture of Jim. Wasn't he handsome?
See the Calic and the Grandma Shanks got.
There's Cowboy Bob. Cowboy Bob Grimes there.
Yeah, his name was Jim when I knew about him.
And let's get, we don't
That's
have these
Ben.
other ugly
Ben.
kids here.
Sam. You didn't get any of Sam, honey.
Now, these are the ones that I don't want them. Those I got, those I know about. I want to get ones of the old man. Where's the ones that we had of Dad and
And what?
and the World War II stuff? Here we go. Okay.
That's in the Battle of Bulge.
That was taken Battle of the Bulge.
Taken during the Battle of the Bulge. You don't know where at, do you?
No, I don't know. And that's me and Gus the day before we went in the Army.
That'd be December of 1945, right there, right? 44.
More after
44.
been Junior.
44.
January of 45.
You and Gus before you went in the Army. Oh
That's
boy.
taken the day before they went in the Army.
Couple of crooks is what it
It's
looks
on,
like.
it's on Sunday.
Notice the beady eyes.
Because on Saturday, me and Gus pitched 17 loads of hay and got $1.50 for that afternoon out there. Yeah.
Right before we went in the Army. Okay. Now get out that company photo there. That's the one I want. Let's spread this one out here.
But we
You
don't
hold
know
that
where your
in.
dad is in that one.
Now this is what company, Dad?
Headquarters Company, 3rd Battalion, 33rd Armored Regiment, 3rd Armored Division.
When was this taken?
In 1943.
It's written on this thing.
And this is
somewhere.
before you went overseas,
Yeah,
right?
we went overseas in September.
Okay, now where's the officers and stuff at? Hold that, Mom. Where's the famous Lieutenant Smalley?
Well,
Those are enlisted guys.
wait a minute.
Here's the officers here.
Yeah, there's Colonel Hogan.
Where?
Right there's Colonel Hogan.
Now, is he still alive?
Yeah. And that's Major Brown.
He's still alive, right?
Yeah, and that was Captain Hoyt.
Okay.
That's Major Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And
Had a lot of officers in a company.
I don't know who that one is.
Anybody else
Yeah,
in here?
and
know?
here's Schumacher, and there's Lieutenant Whirl.
Any of the
And
guys?
here was Sergeant Gregan,
Where?
right there. Sergeant Gregan, right there.
Okay. Anybody else we know in there? Where's Svoboda and all them guys? Little Alvin. Where's Little Alvin?
And I don't know. Let's look that. And here's a guy that's
Hold this corner here, will you, Mom?
that's Herman Alcaraz. Lives in San Diego, California. I know him.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. And that's Sergeant Vallow. He was an old-time
Yeah.
Army guy. And there's Sergeant Tabor. There's Tucker, Sergeant Thiem.
Where's Sergeant Cordell?
I don't know, Jim.
Now this must have been taken down in Camp Polk or something.
No, it's taken in Town Gap, Pennsylvania.
It says it's on this thing
Yeah.
that's written on the side.
Well, don't turn it over. Is there anybody else on here you know? Or?
Oh yeah, I know all of them.
But I mean, you know.
I got all the names in there on that piece of paper.
Well, this was before Svoboda and Eddie and D-Bon and all
Yeah.
the guys. Before Little Alvin?
No little albums on here. Here's John Berryman right there.
Where's what's his name that used to be up in that just passed away up here in Iowa?
Well, there's Sergeant Castor. He got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Wise Gable. He was one of my boys. Right
Is
there.
he still alive?
I don't know.
You don't know where any of these guys are from. That's what gets me.
This is your daddy when. That's what he looked like when we were first. Hadn't been married very long. It's when he went to KU.
Where? KU? Oh, for the whatchamacallit deal? Mm-hmm. Okay. Hold on.
I can't.
Where are these taken at? We'll go through them quick. Where's that?
Well, this here is out there at Rice, California, and was getting ready to leave the desert in November to go back to Camp Pickett. And that's me right there. And that's Marshall and Morvertoon. And here's the tanks all loaded up to go.
This was taken out in California, right?
Yeah, and there's the duffel bags.
It says KP on the side. Now these are what?
Well, this is a car that Sergeant Thiem and Sergeant Randall and Tabor and them owned. We went down to Mexico, and I went with them.
So we got them horns?
Yeah.
Those are the airplanes you were talking about that they brought inland and everything to
Yeah,
keep them away from
right,
the coast.
California. I just picked.
Now, is this the equipment you went overseas with?
No. Now this here is taken right up north of the aqueduct, going up through the mountains there when we was on maneuvers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a tent we set up on the weekend out in the desert center. I think that's me. Is that no? That's John Krause. That's me.
I never did see
That's
them.
me.
I don't think he's got them pictures of eyes in here. I think that was something.
Yes, he does.
And here I am standing with my gas mask, 33rd Armored Regiment, right off the road there from Rice.
How long were you guys out there in the desert?
Well, we landed the 20th of July, 115 degrees, and stayed out there till November. And them pictures taken on the train going back to Virginia, going through the mountains.
How long a train trip was that?
A whole week. Took us,
Even
all,
at Christmas.
took us a whole week. Here's our tanks and stuff on where that was going or coming.
These look like Grants, what they call M4 tanks.
That's John Berryman there. That's John. Well, I ain't him there. That's. Here. These pictures here are taken over in England. There we are. There's Little Alvin, and there's Darmer Fall, Artie Holmes, and Wise Gable me. They moved us out of barracks out into tents before we went over to Germany. And that's a picture on the showboat on the Susquehanna River at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And that was taken 4th of July at Hershey, Pennsylvania, as Emma's friend.
Notice how he said Emma's friend?
That's my girlfriend. That's me and Pearl. That's Miss Seibert. She worked at on the USO show. And that's when we was on a 25-mile road hike back at Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania.
Now,
There's
do
one
any of
them
these
ducks.
look like Jesse?
Not right now. Hold on a minute now.
How about that one?
And that's...
These are the ones we got photos of earlier.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, hold on. There's a Hazel when she was a young pup.
I got better pictures than that.
We did get somewhere in Germany and they had to put everything out to inspect it. And while we was inspecting it, we had some hand grenades in it and they'd never been taken out of the box, and one of the guys was taking it out and he heard it click and he grabbed it and he throwed it, and just lucky it went under the porch right out in front of where the Germans are standing. Nobody got hurt.
Didn't kill no Germans?
No.
Now what's this one up here?
Now wait a minute. And this here is bridges on the way back from Dessa.
We got to get it over here where I can get a better picture of it. Okay, now what's this one up here? That's like a blown up plane in a hangar or something?
Yeah.
Who's this guy here?
Well, he was in our platoon. I can't think of his name.
Who's this guy here?
Well, that's that Russian name.
Okay. Captured Nazi flags and...
Yeah.
Who's these guys down here with the beer?
Let's see. Oh, that was that Samson that hit me, and that was that Russian. I can't think of his
He
name.
was good buddies later on when he got the beer, huh?
There's the half track and the cable on it. We hooked up for the lights. And this.
Tell me about the lights. What'd you do?
Well, we hooked the cable up to the half track and took the headlight out and used it for a light inside the house. And that's a little French girl there.
That's the Autobahn. What? That's a German plane, and this is another crashed German plane.
Yeah.
Okay, put that up there. Now, who's these guys?
Well,
Who's
that's
this?
old Charles Sabota. That's Charles Sabota.
He's dead now,
Yeah,
right?
and that's Wise Gable and Sabota, yeah. The mortar, and these is from French people.
Where were these taken at? When?
And that's Sabota, and that's the Russian, and that's Louis Debon. That's Sampson, that's Eddie. And that's Sampson, and I don't know who that other guy is.
These were taken at the end of the war, right?
No, this here was taken, see the tulips?
Mm-hmm.
It was taken right after we pushed off from Stolberg. And that's a big a thing that looked like a bomb, but it's filled full of little things. And when they dropped it, it opened up and sounded like firecrackers going
Who's the
off.
guy with the Tommy gun?
That's Louis Debon.
Okay, what's the on this side here? That must be Mr. Swoboda again.
Sabota, Sampson, and that's that Russian. And that's Sergeant Tabor in front of the building over there at Rüsselsheim, Germany.
What's this? These guys here are resting?
Yeah,
Captured German plane.
yeah. That's me and Eddie listened to the news on the radio I captured about President Roosevelt getting killed. That's Sampson. That's Odessa. That's Charles Sabota. That's me. That's me. And right there you can see where the shrapnel went through thing and cut up my field bag.
Okay, hurry up. Come on, next one.
Get that in there, get that in there, that's next. Okay. That's Sergeant Moses.
Hold on a minute. Let me get it over here.
That's Sergeant Moses, first sergeant. And that's a little car that I confiscated in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And
Captured German
I
there.
don't know who that is. That's old Chuck.
Who's these guys?
That's little Alvin. And that's the airplane, and that's the Russian. Right over here's where that porch was he threw that thing under.
This was at the end of the war, right?
Yeah. That's old Chuck and Samson, and that's a little Mexican boy in theme squad. That's me. I took that with that camera I had.
Oh, it took it automatically.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Turn that over.
And I don't know. That was after the war. I used to go swimming every day.
After the war,
Yeah.
there's more of that shrapnel
Yeah,
picture.
and half track. And there's a swimming pool there in Russellheim. That's a German tank. There's a Russian. There's Joe Felici from Wood River, Illinois.
That's you in uniform. Who's this guy here?
That's me and Eddie. And that's the German gal. And there's her they're changing clothes behind the bushes. There's old Charles Sabota.
Okay. This must have been going
Yeah, this is
going over,
no.
coming back on
no,
the boat.
this is when we was coming back from Nuremberg. I was sitting in the boxcar with my feet hanging out and looked down as a part of the bridge blowing up.
Coming back from where?
Nuremberg.
When was you ever in Nuremberg?
Well, you ain't been listening. And
Now
this
that's you come. That's the.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And this here's on the boat.
On the boat.
We
coming
went
back.
down on the airfield and getting tents when we come back and got in the boxcar.
Who's these wounded guys here?
We picked him up after they'd been captured. We picked him up.
That's one of them scout cars, right?
Yeah.
Who's this guy here with
That's
him?
little Alvin.
Now tell me about little Alvin.
Little Alvin went over the hill just before we went and stole where.
Now he was with you all along, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's old Charles Sabota. There's our platoon. Old Chuck.
That's the platoon there.
Yeah. Here we are. We confiscated a keg of beer, me and Samson.
You and the old man drinking. The old man drinking beer, Ma.
There's some German girls here. That's Major Brown in front of the building there in Rüsselsheim.
Now what was Major Brown? Company commander?
He was next to Colonel S3. He was company commander and he
Now what's this Woods?
well, I don't know what that is.
Let's go through these. These are taken during the Battle
Now
of Mortain.
that was at Overgeets. That was we went up there after we fired all them shells and burned up the tube. That's Battle of the Bulge.
During the Battle of the Bulge?
That's Battle of the Bulge. Oh. That's Wise Gable, and that's
Wise Gable, who's the guy in the middle?
I think he was a Jewish guy, and that's Marshall. And that's him.
That's the same guy. You don't know who his name was, huh?
There's old Charles Sabota.
Now there's a big...
Now here's where we had our vehicles lined up after the war in front of that two. That's the only building I could find. I went back to Germany after 25 years.
Which one now? This one here?
Yeah, they had two of them in front of the big brick building, and that was our headquarters.
Hold on a minute here. Well, that was the only building you could find, huh?
Yeah.
Nazi flag you guys captured. And we looked at that, didn't we? No. Then look at this one. Who's this guy down here in the corner?
I don't know what his name is.
That's that other guy you don't know.
There's
who he
old
is.
Smalley.
Lieutenant Smalley, the coward.
Jimmy, don't say that.
There's old Sabota in the Battle of the Bulge. Sabota, Peter Berngard.
Well, that's the Siegfried line there, isn't it?
Yeah. That's Eddie. And me, and I don't know who that, I can't remember.
German Tiger tank?
Yeah, that was taken on. I got in that tank and the Army took a picture of that.
The USO show.
No, that's when we had to go down. It was with old Patton and we had to go down. Everybody had to go and to see this, had a circus and all that stuff.
Oh, this was after the war.
You know, well, and here, this here is coming in. That's on the boat, and this is on the boat.
What boat? Coming home?
John S. Erickson.
Coming home or going over?
Coming back. That's exchange. And this here's the boxcars we rode back from Nuremberg to the Havre.
And we looked at that. Now wait a minute.
That's the
This
whole,
is the big picture of the platoon at the end of the war.
I don't know, a big picture.
There's the old man right there. Shortest guy in the outfit. Dad's old German girlfriend, their Nazi girl.
Don't laugh about it, ain't funny.
And that was take as
These were taken back here in the
Yeah.
States. Now, is this your half track?
yeah, that's my half. That was in Stolberg, state of Missouri, right there on the side of the.
Yep.
And there's a big Nazi flag.
Did you guys capture that flag?
Yeah,
Where at?
I don't know. I sent it home and
Grandma did what
it
with it?
got wet. She hung it on the line and yeah.
Got in trouble for hanging it on the
This
line?
here's Odessa. I
She
remember that.
eventually, Jimmy, cut
What
up
happened at
her
Odessa?
rag rugs.
Well, that's the last day of the war.
Who's this?
That there's Armorfall. Fusky, we call him. That's old Charles Sabota.
Fusky's the one that got underneath the half track with the old man one time, and Shell come in and
Is that
brought
all
a
of them?
dirt
That's
dust.
all of them now. I'm going to turn it in and get these. Now, what's what?
That's me and Gus.
Where's this taken at?
Mossback, Germany.
During the war or after the war?
Right after,
During the war.
I thought it was right
Okay.
afterwards.
These are pictures in
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah,
Germany. That's,
And that's the Cologne Cathedral.
okay. That's
Yeah.
Cologne Cathedral.
And here's the Cologne Cathedral.
Now, this is that German tank you were talking about. They
Yeah.
just no, that's the American tank that's been knocked out.
Yeah, one knocked the other.
And what's this here? Who's the guys in it, left or right?
Well, that's Wise Gable. That's Wilson. That's Charles Sabota. And that's me. And that's Marshall. And that's the Indian from Arizona.
And that's your half tracks.
Yeah, yeah. You got it.
I can kind of get. This was that marker that's out there, the spearhead marker out in the desert, right?
Yeah.
It's out by Needles.
Needles. Yeah.
Okay, now this is
The
Dad
histo-
standing by the
Between Needles
thing.
and 29
The
Problems.
historical people of desert, they still got the little church there and the sidewalks all around the.
We didn't take any, we took pictures of them, and I don't know why we.
Now this is a photo of a dead German's head. Tell me about this story, Pop.
Yeah, we just crossed on the pontoon at by the Remagen Bridge, and you're going up the side of the hill behind us. We got up on top. The Germans was under some gates that they used for snow fences, and they shot at the tank, and the tank turned around and shot it and shot his head off.
Hmm. Okay. Now this, you were in Combat Command B, right?
No. Where's Colonel Hogan?
Well, you were in Combat Command B, but you were in the 33rd Armored Regiment,
Yeah, here, right here.
Task Force B. Colonel Hogan.
That's Colonel Lovelady, right? First man into Germany.
And the commanding officer of that regiment was Colonel Welbert. I never heard you say anything about him. And you had the 36th Infantry Regiment. Now, what outfit was... Now, this is the one that Gus was in, a 54th Armored Field...
Artillery, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What you got?
Go ahead, I got one for you. Can you turn your
And
camera
36th Infantry were just Scroggins was in.
23rd Armored Maintenance, 703rd Tank Destroyer Battalion, Armored Supply Battalion, they got a whole bunch of them in here. Okay, now you trained in the desert. You don't have any, none of these pictures are pictures of you, right?
No.
Here's some of the airplanes in the desert, Jim.
He's got pictures in.
Now let's talk about, there's the 3rd Armored Patch, okay. Forging the Spearhead.
as the infantry, artillery, and cavalry.
John, where is this taken at? But you notice all of these photographs.
Okay, now tell me about, this is the one with Eisenhower.
Yep. That was taken at the War Minister Barracks.
And you were there?
I was sergeant of the guard, and I saw them there when Eisenhower and Montgomery and Collins.
Okay, Normandy. Tell me some more about the fighting in Normandy, Paul. There's Colonel Hogan again.
Yeah. That was taken the same day that we went up for the mortars first time we come back by. Colonel Rosen used to command the 33rd, and he got relieved by, he did an obey order or something, he got relieved by Milburn.
Who was this? Who got relieved?
He did, Colonel Rosen. We used to call him Blood and Guts. So.
He got removed, huh?
Yeah.
Sent back. Okay, there's a couple of dead Germans. Here's the original commanding general. They must have canned, when they first, Rose wasn't the commanding general when you guys landed, was he?
Rose was not, no.
Then they made it
They
Hqtrs.
had so many, what was that old cow?
There's Royston, 33rd, okay, in Normandy. Who took over for Royston? Welborn?
Mm-hmm. And there's them things on the front of the tanks that some sergeant invented, and you
Plowed through them instead of having to go
they
around.
hooked them up to where you pull the tanks and try.
The old guys taking showers.
Yeah, I remember. Here's one. See them cutting meat off them dead horses, ain't they?
Now this is northern France. You guys moved up.
Yeah.
Did you do any fighting up in through here?
Let me see. When was that? August. That's when I was in the hospital.
Okay. Now, this is just general pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what are we getting into the... Now, what's this one?
Well, that's where they closed the Felice Gap, because,
Were you there with that?
yeah, because I helped the farmers just putting up wheat, and I was out helping them throw the bundles up on the wagon. That was it, where we captured how many thousands was it?
Now, this is Rhineland. You were in on a Rhineland, right?
Yeah. September the 15th.
John,
Hey.
what's this?
Well, that's flower garden up along the Susquehanna River. And that,
Now, what'd you do during the Battle of Rhineland? Where were you at? Huh? Tell me about that. There's Ardennes. Ardennes would have been the Battle of the Bulge, right?
yeah.
Yep.
We already talked about the Battle of the Bulge, Hebron, Luxembourg. Now,
Somewhere in there should be a picture of where we captured the buzz bomb just before.
were you there when they captured the buzz bomb?
Yeah, we went right by it. And then right next to
Rhineland.
Nordhausen was a concentration
yeah,
camp.
we
wasn't it?
went right by there. But
You didn't stop though, right?
see, we spearhead and we didn't.
Central Europe. Well, there's a big old German tank destroyer.
There's where we went across the
Is that the bridge you went
pontoon.
across on?
Yeah, across there, the Moggen Bridge.
Here's the buzz bombs.
Yeah.
So you went by and saw the buzz bombs, huh?
Before we get down, I want you to take a picture up in front and then picture, and there's a Colonel.
Or General Rose.
Yeah.
Picture up front of what?
I got something I want to show you. There's the Nordhaus
Yeah.
Is this your mother's yard or Grandma Shank's yard?
bombs.
Okay, there's the dedication of Rose, the 3rd Armored. Sing a little of that song for
Yeah,
us there,
we
Dad.
took up $30,000 for General Rose, and we got a room out in Denver, Colorado,
The hospital.
in the hospital. Yeah.
Where did you tell me this was taken?
I don't know, Mother. I don't
Texas
know.
Tanker. Who they talking about there? They're not
That's
talking.
Hogan.
They're talking about Hogan. I didn't see it. It doesn't say Hogan anywhere. There must have been a lot of
No.
Texas tankers.
There's old, what is it? Eisenhower and
That's General Hickey.
General Hickey and old Truman.
Jim, I got one for you.
What's this one?
All right, that's the range at Pennsylvania. Now get him to tell you about H.
Tell me about little Alvin and the range. Hurry up, I'm running out of stuff.
Well, he was out on the range one time, down in between two mountains, and hawk flew over, and Artie Holmes dared him to shoot at it, and Alvin, he up and shot at it, and sounded like a damn cannon going off, and we got in camp. They called us in and spent us a week for little Alvin firing at the hawk flew over.
It was. Then ever after they said HE light 1 round, hawk,
Yeah.
fire, or some dumb thing like that. I don't remember what.
Tell me about that, Paul. What'd they say?
Well, go
Yeah,
on.
well, that's it.
No, that ain't the way you told it though.
Well, they'd say, hawk, HE light.
The 3rd Armored, huh?
Who is this?
That's some girl that I met home on leave.
Well, that's for sure. We know that. Taken in the Oregon courthouse.
After 50 years more, you expect me to...
You know this guy?
No.
Well, it kind of looks like one of them.
Spearhead history.
They would be a little young for you.
We killed and captured 49 divisions. And we captured 76,000 prisoners.
How many
And we
guys
drove
was...
110 miles in one day, the longest drive in history.
And the division had 2,213 killed, 7,451 wounded in action, missing in action 706,000. Fort Benning, Georgia is where it started, and then Camp Beauregard. Dad came along at Camp Polk, and they went out, looks like they went out to the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
And into the Mojave Desert, they went back east to Camp Pickett, Indian Town Gap, then Camp Kilmer, and they went overseas. Now, this shows a division here. Where's it landing at? Where's it at? Okay. You landed at St. Lo. Well, you landed at Normandy.
Yeah.
Went St. Lo on down to May. I can't make it.
Mayan.
And then you went up to Chartres. You didn't go to Paris, though.
No.
Went up through Belgium and Mons, Berlin, Liege, Aachen. Tell me about the battle. That's where you crossed the Siegfried Line. Aachen, Cologne, and you ended up, where did you end up at? Paderborn, where you fought the SS troops.
Yeah, and then on over to Dessa.
Went on over to, did you fight in between here and here?
Yeah. Well, we spearheaded, had 3 columns. We done a little firing, we run into some resistance. Like a hospital. Then seen the Eiffel Tower.
I think he did that just to get a trip to Paris. You think, Ma?
He went to someplace in Paris too. Where was it? What was the name of that place you went to? Pig Alley or someplace like that? And
yeah,
you heard about that one.
is that where he caught the city?
Little Alvin. I went on a pass after the after the Battle of Mortain or something. That's where little Alvin went over the hill and he was stationed at a replacement center.
He wasn't stationary, he was just hanging out there.
Yeah, they didn't.
You don't ever know what happened to little Alvin, huh? Was he a coward?
No, he just.
He just got fed up and got nervous.
He was just on needles and pins all the time. Every time he stopped, he'd jump out the shovel and start digging a foxhole. One time he was digging, I said, Alvin, you might as well quit. I said, you ain't gonna dig rocks. I said, hell, you'd be digging all night and wouldn't have a foxhole.
How long did he stay with you? He stayed up to the Battle of the Bulge?
Well, he was in the Battle of the Bulge up to, I don't know. I know we stayed, we had a canvas. We laid the canvas out on the ground, kicked the snow off, laid it out on the ground, then put our sleeping bags on it, and then we pulled it up over us. It was right next to, we call it a haystack, but over there they cut the brush up, and stack it up like hay, and we was right up next to that, out of the wind. And that's when they were
Now, most of the time, you sleep on the ground, sleep inside, or what?
on the ground, and old houses, old barns, haystacks.
How often do you guys get a bath and stuff?
Yeah, you didn't even think about a bath.
It was cold.
One time me and Chuck took a bath and had to pull out real quick, and my long john was still wet, and I had to put him in the half track with a heater to dry him out. Hell, you didn't worry about baths.
So how long was the trip over on the boat?
I don't know what that was.
Were you seasick?
No.
Not
No, we was on the John S. Erickson.
Going over. What were you on coming back?
8,500 on it. And it was made in Hamburg, Germany, 1916. And it had a swimming pool and a theater and a big
Oh, it was a luxury liner.
locker, yeah.
What'd you come back on?
Had to come back on SS Exchange, only 2,000 on it.
Did you get seasick on it?
Yeah, I got seasick for 3 days.
How come you got seasick on one, not on the other?
One was bigger than the other
Well,
one.
that other one was reached from Hondoon Road up the Dewey Avenue.
Yeah.
And that little old S Exchange, the damn thing you raise up and you go down and you raise up and boy, I lay there and hold
Tell me
myself.
about when you come into New York Harbor, Dad.
When we come in New York Harbor, it was raining, but we stood out in the rain to see Statue of Liberty. We got in there in the afternoon. It took us all afternoon. We went up, what river?
Hudson.
Hudson River. The big boat couldn't operate and it had a tug pushing it. And we didn't get up there to unload till about 11 o'clock, and we had chow about 12, had our first steak.
Now, when did you get home from? When did you get back to the States, and then when did you get home? Tell me about that.
Well, I got home in September, about the
Now, back up.
22nd.
Back up a minute. After the war was over in Europe, what they say about Japan? They say anything about that?
Well, I had 96 points, and I had enough points to get out.
They didn't talk about going on.
Before anything happened, you know, the war was over. And
Yeah, but after war, did they mention anything about going to Japan, fighting
no,
a Jap?
I was through. I had 96
They,
points.
they were undecided about that change.
Because I had been in 4 years and 2 months, 24 days.
So you came home in September,
Yeah.
and you came home to where? New York?
No, I was somewhere at Camp Shanks, and then stayed all night in Camp Shanks. We came from there to Jeff's Barracks in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Got out the 24th
24th of what?
of September. Me and Greenie from Rockport caught the bus and got in town, got on a train and come to Kansas City. Stood up most of the way. Got in St. Joe about 4 o'clock in the morning.
But you were mustered out in Jefferson City.
Yeah.
So you got in St. Joe 4 o'clock morning, then how'd you get home?
Well, I got on, there were 2 or 3 other guys. We got in a taxi cab, and one guy got out over there, right down the hill from where we used to live on 4th Street, got where them peonies was, you know.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, never, you want to watch it when you get out." A lot of guys when they got out, had their mushing out pay, and they got robbed.
Mm-hmm.
And I had $500 on me, and they wasn't going to get
So
that.
how did you get home from?
So then I got out. I said, I just lived down the street here, and I got out and walked down the street and walked over there where Mr. Wake lived.
Oh, you walked to Wakes.
Yeah, right over there by Ruby Road.
His sister Pearl.
Oh, you walked to Pearl's, and you spent the night there?
Yeah.
What was left of the night time.
Oh, and then where'd you go? What happened after that?
Pearl took me home up Oregon.
So how long was you home before you went to work, and where'd you go to work at?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. We got home September, and Gus was already home because he was married, had more points.
When did Gus get home?
Well, he got fly home, but he had 100 and, let's see, he had 101 points.
How come he had 101?
Well, he was married and had,
Ah.
and we caught a bus and rode down St. Joe, and then we caught a bus and we went down to Quaker Oak. And they said, "Yeah, we got a job." And we asked them what to do, and they said, "Oh, load that boxcar with a 100-pound bag." And he said, "Well, that ain't for us." So we walked on over to sites and signed up, and Gus went to work, I think, the next week. Well, in the meantime, I went to work for Stephen Hat's company for 50 cents an hour. And over at sites, they paying 70. So Gus told me, says, "You come over here on Monday morning," says, "them kids had kids working, they won't show up." And sure enough, they didn't show up, and I went to work in the Hqtrs putting up orders.
Now, what rank was Gus when he got out?
I think he was a T5.
Okay, now, how long was Gus at sites before he became management? Didn't he? Wasn't he a foreman or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Father was a union man.
And Gus wasn't. And they wasn't buddies for a long time.
Well, Gus was in the union, and they made him boss. and they made Hotton eyeball. Well, according to rules and the thing, if you're boss and got paid the salary instead of the hour, you wasn't supposed to be in the union, see?
Mm-hmm.
So the union members kicked Gus out. And Gus always thought I done it, but it wasn't me.
So when was this?
Oh,
Oh gosh, way back when, honey, before your dad got big in the union.
In the 50s?
It was after that, of course.
No, it was, yeah,
It was down the new plant.
was it down
Yeah,
there?
of course, I went down there in 1957, you know.
You went
So
down-
now you got out of the Army. Wait a minute. Now you got out of the Army. When did you go in the Army Reserve or Army National Guard?
He was in it, he signed up when he was in the army, did
Yeah.
you do that?
And but they didn't have no meetings for 2 or 3 years.
Did you get paid or anything?
Yeah, I got paid.
You went to the first Army Reserve meeting when we lived over at Lena's,
Yeah.
right after John Scott was.
Yeah, I was right across the street from where the WWII Hotel was, in a little room right there.
It was in the chamber.
Okay, but did he get? But he got paid. Okay.
Yeah.
Now when
No,
did you
he
get?
didn't. No, he didn't. Not the first meetings he
No,
went to.
no.
He didn't get